Immigration agents have taken custody of 16 people with suspected ties to the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. They're being investigated for a kidnapping and brutal beating at an apartment complex in Aurora, the same place that Aurora police have been trying to root out the gang for 5 months now. ICE confirmed today it's holding 16 Venezuelans believed to be in this country without authorization. They're tied to the attack on 2 people at the Edge at Lowry Apartments on Tuesday. Our Mark Salinger looks at the challenge of trying to deport people to a country that won't take them back.
The police that filled the streets yesterday outside the Edge at Lowry apartment complex in Aurora are gone. Today, the focus is on the people who also aren't here. Immigration and Customs Enforcement says 16 of the 19 people detained and accused of kidnapping and torturing 2 people on Tuesday are now in ICE custody, not in the custody of Aurora police. As far as we know, they also haven't been charged with any state crimes yet.
These are totally separate systems. ICE is a federal agency. Their objective is enforcement of immigration law, which is a federal civil law.
Elizabeth Jordan is an immigration law professor at the University of Denver. She says it's rare for people detained in this situation to first move into ICE custody before potentially facing charges for the crimes they were seemingly arrested for. Usually, it's the opposite.
ICE's primary kind of MO has been to pick up non-citizens who have first had criminal legal contact.
Once someone in the country without proper documentation faces a judge and it's determined that they should be deported from the country, ICE can continue to detain them for 90 days. They can ask for an extension of another 90 days. Since the U.S. doesn't have diplomatic relations with Venezuela, allowing for deportations back to the country, ICE is then forced to release Venezuelan citizens from detention once the 180 days run out. That would change in this situation if the people arrested are eventually charged with a state crime.
So the question that ICE is asking the immigration court system to answer for anybody that comes into contact with ICE is whether or not this person is allowed to stay in the United States. Not a question of criminal culpability, not a question of punishment, just status in the United States.
3 of the 19 people who were detained yesterday by Aurora police were released today after it was determined that they didn't have any involvement. It's important to note that we still don't know the level of cooperation between police departments like Aurora and the federal agencies like us, ICE. Clearly, they're working together, but we don't know to what degree. That, of course, is a major question as we wait to see what these planned deportations look like from President-elect Trump.
Law enforcement in Colorado is significantly limited by state law in that regard, but there are still differences in cooperation department to department.
Yeah, so I asked the Denver Sheriff's Office today about detainer requests. How many times has ICE asked them, hey, can you detain these people for us? And they either comply or they don't. Denver Sheriff's Office says that they have not, though they have gotten 63 times this year asked by ICE to be notified when an inmate is released. What happens next is that the Denver Sheriff's Office sends a fax to ICE, to let them know, hey, we're going to release this person at this time and date. You can come pick them up or you don't have to.
Yeah, a fax in the year of 2024 is essentially a middle finger. Yep.
Yes.
All right, Mark Salinger, thank you.